Hi, my name is Mike Clanton. I'm with iBAHN Enterprise Conference Solutions. I'm also with My Meeting Professional, which is an educational research arm of iBAHN. I'm here today at the Adobe Digital Marketing Summit. It is a large venue here to host Adobe customers and clients and employees. It's a wonderful way for Adobe to showcase their services and what they do best. And what they do best is they live within the digital world. And that's why they've partnered with us, iBAHN ECS. So, the network is not just about Wi-Fi. It really is about ensuring that the network is stable, secure, and more importantly, speedy. And so we believe in the 3 S's with iBAHN ECS, because having a stable, secure, and speedy network will ensure overall network integrity. And this is why we are here supporting this event.
Hi, I'm James Lee. I work for Adobe. I'm project manager of the Events Summit 2012. This year it has its own problems. We basically have picked a venue with no infrastructure, just a big empty warehouse, whereas last year it was at the Hilton Metropole. It already had infrastructure in place. It was a lot simpler. We knew of the problems and we knew how to overcome them. This is completely different. We don't know the service provider, there was no cable runs, so it was a lot more complicated. If you're looking for a venue, it doesn't matter the scale of the venue. What matters is whether you're going to have you need a network infrastructure. Now, this event is, and generally the events we do, will need a network infrastructure because we're demoing a lot of products that are hosted via a web server. We're doing live streaming. All of that requires a good, stable network. So I need to be involved early on as possible to look at the requirements, look at what Adobe need, what our customers need, and then try and bring the right people in to make sure that's achieved. Yeah, so why am I using iBAHN this year? I used iBAHN last year, mainly, if I'm honest, because we had used iBAHN in the past and it was required that I used iBAHN again for the event because we use worldwide. We use iBAHN worldwide. This year was a lot different for me. I have that trust now. I know most of the gentlemen who I work with, people like Phil, people like Gerard, and I trust them completely. And the great thing is I can give them the requirements and let them get on with it. I don't have to worry about them. But the good thing is, working with iBAHN, we've built up that relationship, we work together, we have a good honest relationship. It's more of a partnership than a customer-supplier relationship. So we both work together to give the customers a solution that hopefully they won't know it's there.
What's the advantage with the proactive monitoring? How's that a value? The proactive monitoring, what that does for you, and the network report afterwards. What does that report does for you or whomever?
What's more important for me is the monitoring throughout the event. A good example of that was last year. It proved absolutely essential, where in the main plenary we had more customers activating connecting to the network on one side of the room rather than the other. So before there was any issues, Phil and Gerald were able to distribute extra access points to that area, and it worked beautifully. So Adobe's name, working an event like this, it's essential that we have everything working seamlessly, and that's network, wireless network, streaming. That all has to be seamless. If there's any little problem, and I want to really mention it during the event if it all goes smoothly, which is what we want, but if there's any little problem, you can sure that'll be tweeted on the internet. So yeah, it's a quite an important event for us.
Press. I know press is important, social media is important, I understand it, but I know there are a lot of different actors, a lot of different groups of actors. So please discuss the importance of press, the social media, and how that's been set aside, and the different VLANs that's been set up to accommodate that.
The press are very important, providing the event goes well. So it's a double-edged sword. Providing everything goes well and there's no problems, then the press can be there, you know, a real big benefit. We had them last year and it worked out really, really well. The network was absolutely perfect. We had no issues. So we got a good feedback off the back of that. We had people tweeting saying how great the network was. That's what we're looking for this year. You mentioned about the wireless VLANs, why we separate it. We have one wireless network that is there for the Adobe customers, and that's a visible network, and we want them to be able to see that, connect to that. And then we have multiple other networks. So for instance, the video streaming, we need to dedicate for instance a certain amount of bandwidth to ensure that that video stream goes without a hitch. Mainly because we've got a number of customers connecting to that who couldn't make this event. So for them, who are paying, you know, they're paying money to come to an event like this, but they can't physically be here, so they need to view it online. So we have to make sure it's essential that goes without a hitch. Yeah, the customers who are present and the customers who are remote, they're equally important. There's, you know, people who are connecting. If they're getting a bad experience, they'll soon report that. So we need everyone to have a good experience, whether they're here or whether they're connecting remotely.
My name is Peter Folkard from a company called ProDeck Networks. We're involved in data and voice connectivity, primarily around manufacturers Cisco, HP. Currently this event in Battersea Park, there are approximately 120 access points deployed around the building. These are enterprise class access points. As you can see, there's one behind me there. They are positioned strategically around the building, so up to 20-30 people per access point, so there's lots of overlap. Obviously with that overlap we have to make sure the security is nailed down. You have to ring fence it basically, especially for an event like this where, you know, we're in the middle of Battersea Park. It has to be secure. Networks cannot be allowed to leak out, and you can't have people accessing someone else's data, especially in this day and age with intellectual property.
We've walked around this building today at the Adobe conference, and there are access points all over the place. And I think that we all need to understand what these different elements do and how much we as planners need to embroider them. The problem can be that you don't want to become a completely technical planner, because that's not really your role, but you do need to be able to link into other people that are experts in their field and will help you.
Okay, welcome to the iBAHN mobile NOC, which we use for monitoring the events. The NOC is the Network Operations Center. This allows us to bring in the monitoring tools we need to keep the event network healthy and happy. So from the screen we can see the health of the 120 access points that we have installed at this particular venue. It allows me and my team to be able to react and optimize the network, and we can go out and resolve any problems as and when they occur. But it gives the customer a great experience. From the reporting they can then get information on what they need to provision the network for the next year, so it really kind of helps justify the cost of the network.
I hope this piece is giving you an understanding on the importance of meeting design, how meeting design equals network design, because network design is the critical core of an event. A core of an event are the people, or the attendees, or the people that actually come and have face-to-face meeting, and those that are even remote. And so if you look at the people as being the heart, you think about the heart itself is fed by the artery system. So is a meeting. The heart of the meeting, be it remote or be it face-to-face, is the people. And what connects everyone together is the network, the artery. And if that artery is not active properly, you have cardiac arrest. So it's important for us to plan an event around the usage of the network and then build from there. There's another piece that's more post-conference, but during the actual event itself, there's some actual live network monitoring. This monitoring allows allows us as iBAHN, the iBAHN ECS, and also the customer to better understand how the network is being used and to be proactive to shore up certain areas. And then afterwards, we actually have an actual report that allows us to see trends, to understand how the network was used, to see where the hot areas are, and to see what areas need to have more attention or less attention. We can use this information for future events, to better plan and to have a better budget.